Hi, I'm Eva. How are you doing? This video is for you if you would like to start your relationship with God. It may be that you already have a relationship with God, but you would like to have a more consistent flow when it comes to understanding what is it that God's trying to tell you, what is it that God is trying to say to you, because God is trying to tell you things all of the time, and perhaps you're not always available to say, you know what, God, I really am in this relationship with you, ready to go all of the time, depending on what you tell me to do or not do. Yeah, so you really want to have that consistent relationship going. So this is what this video is about. I allow God to come through me now. And I always like to take my little sip of coffee first and then allow God to come through me. So I come through Eva today to tell you, how do you build a new relationship with me? This is very much about new relationships. How do you build a new relationship with me? Because maybe you already have a relationship with me, but it feels a little bit distant. And when you have a relationship that feels very distant, it's not really the relationship that I would like you to have with me, okay? So what we want to do first and foremost is to be able to say, I let go of that old relationship, because really, if you have a relationship that feels disconnected with me, it is not really me you're connecting with, okay? So first of all, if you feel you have a relationship with me and it feels disconnected, or it feels like you can't hear me, or you're praying to me and I'm not there for you, or you feel like I'm this voice very distant, then you're not really connecting with me. You're connecting perhaps with a different energy that is not truly God's, okay? So first of all, if we have that energy of I try and connect and I don't hear anything back, and maybe I do, I just feel like the relationship's very distant, then that's not a real relationship. It could be that there's a lot of things in the way of that true relationship, but you're not experiencing a real relationship with me. And so we first of all say, I let go of that relationship. Okay, it's done. The next thing, and it really is that simple, just let it go. Just, really just let it go. I let it go. I let it go. Okay. And then we start, okay, how do I have a real new relationship with God? Okay. So the way that I would like to say is that it can be very much an issue for people to say, I want to have a relationship with God. So the first thing is you have to work through that a little bit of, well, maybe I feel like God is something very distant from me, something that is very much this distant energy that kind of sits in the sky and doesn't have anything to do with me, and I have to be at such a high level for God to connect with me. So first we have to be able to say, I really understand that if I have anything within me that says I'm resisting a relationship with God, we need to first address that. Okay, and that can be because you think that I'm completely unavailable, that I'm this unpersonal, impersonal energy, that I'm this distant energy, but then that's not the real me, because the real me is always going to be very personal, very easy to talk with, very easy to get along with. I'm going to be very connected to you, very much interested in what you're doing, where you're at. I'm never going to shame you. I'm never going to make you feel like what you're doing is wrong, but I will say, this is not the right thing for you, but I'll never make you feel guilty about it. I'll say, it's okay. It really is okay, but we're going to work through it and we're going to let it go if it's not the right thing for you, but not from shame, not from guilt, from a lot of love. So the relationship has to be available to you. But if you're saying, I'm not available to this relationship because actually I believe that God would be angry with me, or I believe that God is distant, or I believe that God would punish me in some way, then we need to work through that just a little bit by bringing awareness to it and say, you know what, that really isn't true. Then you're not connecting with a real God. Yeah, you're connecting with fake God. Yeah, you're connecting with God from the, from the past experiences of either this lifetime. Perhaps you grew up into a religion that said God's going to punish you. God's going to say, don't do this, don't do that. It's not that the religions are inherently bad, but a lot of the information is incorrect. Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of people using religion past a date in which they feel they don't need it. If you feel you don't need religion anymore, I'm more than happy with that, because a lot of the time religion is going to be very much a filtered experience of God. Yeah. And when you have a filtered experience of God, you're not really connecting with God. You're connecting with a fake God. Yeah. If there's any element of you got to follow these rules, you got to be controlled, you got to do this, you got to do that, then I'm not going to tell you to do I don't control all these things. Yeah. But I will say things like, you have a highest path available. I want you to have that path. I want you to be aligned with my will, not through control, but because you remember that you are a divine being that has a divine will. Yeah, not I'm going to control you and punish you, or I'm going to say don't have any sex, but I may say to you, if you have sex with this person, it may not be the right thing for you right now because your energy is very low vibrational and you're just going to receive a lot of energy from them, a lot of entities from them. And I would rather you don't have sex with them. Or I may say, you know what, really go for it. You really need to just have a fuck. You need to have a fuck. You need to just get it out of your system, have a fuck, and go for it. Yeah, so I'm very personable. If that is your language, I'm not going to say, fuck no, I'm not going to swear. Yeah, I'm going to really come to where you're at. And if I feel that it's important for us to swear together, we will do it, yeah? Doesn't mean I'm going to swear all the time or you're going to swear all the time when you fully realize yourself as a divine being, because you most likely won't want to swear all the time. Maybe just a little bit here and there for some emphasis, because this guide that you perhaps have in your head is one that says limit yourself. And a real guide, that means God guide, is going to say, no, I'm not limiting myself. I'm not saying I can't swear ever, because that is such an extreme law. I can never ever swear. I can never ever do this thing. I can never have sex. I can never fuck. I can never do this. Sometimes you're going to need that, and I'm going to say go for it. And other times I'm going to say it's not the highest path for you. Please don't do that. Okay? So a lot of people don't want to have a relationship with God because they feel I'm going to punish you, or I'm going to say don't do this, don't do that. You can't swear, you can't drink, you can't have sex, can't have drugs. Yeah? It could be that some of those things are the case. I'm going to say don't have drugs. Yeah? Like I say to Eva, don't have drugs. You don't need drugs. It's not going to be okay for you to have drugs. So don't have drugs. And that can be something that becomes available once you have tried drugs. Yeah, it's okay if you try drugs, but I may say now you're not going to have a life with drugs. You don't need drugs. They don't serve you. You can't have them. They're not going to be good for you. But I do say to Eva, please drink. I want you to have an experience of alcohol because that's part of your mission, to be able to bring these things to a higher vibration. That you're able to have a drink and you're able to transmute it, and you're able to go to a bar and transmute energy. That's something that Eva doesn't do very much. So I'm going to be saying, can you please do more of that? That's actually part of your mission. So a lot of people don't want to have a relationship with God because they feel I'm going to say something you don't want to hear. And let me tell you, when you have a true relationship with me, everything I say to you is going to be stuff you want to hear. It really is. It's going to be like, please have some sex. You need some sex, but have it with the person who is the right person for you. Yeah. And I'm going to most likely say, I also want you to build a life with that person. I don't want you having a partner here and a partner there and a partner this and a partner there, but I'm never going to say don't have sex before marriage if I feel it's the right thing. Yeah. I don't make these limiting things. It may be that a long time ago, I said, let's have some commandments in place. Let's have some things that you're going to do. Because let me tell you, we're doing spiritual work right now. I would say to a whole tribe of people who are looking for the promised land, which really is a place within yourself. I may say, come on, let's put some commandments in place, because you're having sex with your neighbor's wife. What a drama. Please don't do that. Just don't do that. And we're in the desert and there's food that is making people die. Please, let's do a few things of how do I have food in the desert so no one's going to die. Yeah, the food has to last. So I may say, let's do these things, which, later becomes kosher, but those are things in a very particular time that got taken out of context. Okay? If I say, please don't steal, it's a good idea that really will stand the test of time. Please don't murder. It really does stand the test of time. But, I'm not going to say that those commandments are able to stand the test of time. They're not. And they're not able to stand the test of time of commandments. That was in a very particular situation of taking a whole nation of people through a big mystical initiation where they had to find the promised land within themselves. Yeah, you're not going to get there if you're fucking your neighbor's wife. It's just, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you see, if you feel like you got the wrong idea about what God is to you, I'm going to be the experience that you need to have to remember your oneness with me. Whatever it is, you're going to have an experience with me where you remember, you know what, God's amazing. I remember that I'm also one with God. I remember that I am built to be a creator, that I'm built to co-create with God, that we're here to have a relationship together. So the most important thing for you to begin to lean into is, where did I get a little bit of a mistake when it comes to understanding what is God? Where was I taken in by other people's understanding of God? And where do I need to get back to within myself to understand who is God to me? Because I'm going to show up as whoever you need me to be in your experience. I'm going to say, if you're doing a line of cocaine right now, I'm going to be there with you doing that line, making sure we understand what is going on. What are we doing with this line of cocaine right now? I'm not going to say, naughty, 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 but I will say, if we're doing this cocaine, we want to, come back to a place of presence, of understanding. What is it you're trying to avoid within yourself to do these drugs? Yeah, I'm not going to say that you're continuing to do cocaine is going to be okay, but I'm not going to shame you for it. I'm not going to say, oh, you got to stop this right now. I'm not going to pull you out of anything before I feel you're ready. If you have an addiction, I'm going to help you through it to understand, what does it relate to? How do you heal yourself? How do you remember? What is it I really need to get to that I was trying to get from the drugs? Yeah, I'm going to make sure you are able to work through your addiction through a lens of love and consideration and going deep within yourself, whilst not saying I'm going to make you stop that straight away if I feel like it will send you into an experience that makes you feel very frightened and afraid and unsafe. Yeah, so when you have a relationship with me, yeah, you got to let that go, that feeling of, I don't feel safe with God, because I will make you feel safe. Yeah. And if you had any experiences of you did not feel safe with me, then it's not an experience of God. Okay. So if anything's coming up, just allow it. Yeah, just allow it and then let it go. Let it go. This can be a very activating subject. A very activating subject. Okay. Most of all, it's going to be the subject that is most important for you to be able to mend your relationship with me. Okay. So the next thing I want to say is, how do you really build a relationship with me once you've gone through all of that information? How do you build this relationship? Well, I would say the most important thing is that you make time to connect with me. And if you can do it early in the morning, that would be wonderful. And then if you can start to do it throughout the entire day that you create space for me, that would be even better. So I love if you say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and do something that I love to begin with. Yeah, this is how you connect with me. Do something that you really want to do. You want to wake up and watch TV in the morning? Sure. I'll be there with you doing it. But it's very intentional that I'm going to do something I love, and I want to feel God there while I'm doing it. I want to feel that God is receptive to me doing something that I genuinely want to do. And it's something that you don't normally do, that you don't allow yourself to do that thing you want to do. So it can be, normally I'd feel really guilty if I woke up and watched some TV. But actually, I may do that for a few weeks, to wake up just for a few weeks. I'm not saying forever, because you won't want to do it forever. Trust me, you won't. But I want to know that I wake up and I do this thing that I wouldn't normally do. Maybe I feel guilt about it, but it's not something totally destructive. I'm not saying wake up and do something really destructive. But if you do have any sort of addiction and you want to wake up and do that, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying wake up and do something that, it's kind of something that you really need right now. Maybe you wake up and you just have a cup of tea and you just sit and do nothing for half an hour. Yeah, that kind of thing. Not anything that's going to be harmful. And you just know, like, during that time, God's with me, supporting me doing that thing. Yeah, that's the first step to it. And maybe you do that for a few weeks. That I just know I want to feel God doing this thing with me that I feel like I need, but maybe I felt like I shouldn't do it, okay? Because I know that if I'm going to honor myself in this way, doing something that I actually feel I need right now for a few weeks, that I'm going to allow God to be there with me while I'm having this experience, knowing that God approves of that. Okay, so a few examples I'm not going to give you because it's really whatever comes to mind for you. Yeah, that I wish, you know, I could wake up and do this thing. If I lived in whatever world that I lived in, well, you do, go and do it and I'll be there with you. Okay, watching TV or having your cup of tea or whatever it is, but not something you think you should do. Yeah, not something you think you should do because that's fake. Something that you really want to do and you feel you need, and it's not necessarily going to be something you do forever, but it's something that you need right now, and you feel like that's something that God will want me to do because it's really just what I need right now, and God would never say don't do that thing. Okay, and then I would say, you know, if you can take this out into nature, that would be really good. If you could spend a little bit of time in nature in whatever way you are doing that, that's really going to reset you. You know, nature just has a very good way of resetting you. So if you can find somewhere close to home where you're able to go to over and over again, a really nice place that feels safe for you. Maybe it's a forest, maybe it's a lake, maybe it's a river, maybe, you know, I don't want you to be climbing mountains and in your day unless you want to. Yeah, something that you really want to do, nothing forced, but I guarantee you'll have something that's like nice and available for you. You know, forever it's very much walking and taking the same path and doing a little hike every day. You know, it's not a forced thing. It's something that it's, you know, I can get into nature and then I can say that that is my time every day to connect with God. Hands down, that's my time every day, you know, and that's something that you want to have in your, you know, in your day for the rest of your life, okay? Without too much commitment, but it's just, you know, what is it I could have every day of my life and be happy with it? You know, forever it's like I can go and walk every day in the morning. And that for me is something I genuinely adore doing. And, you know, that has from the walking turned into running. You know, that's available to you. But it has to be something that you genuinely want to do every day the rest of your life. And that is your time to connect with me. And that we have that time together every single day for the rest of your life. But I don't want you to look at it as such a big commitment. It's really like, what do I really love to do that I can put in place that will take me into nature and get me moving? You know, this is about like, get yourself moving, get yourself in an environment where you feel safe, where you're really devoting time every day and you feel there's something I could do every day for the rest of my life, where that is my time of expansion and my connection with God. Yeah, then you're going to feel me. You're going to feel me really coming to you. And, you know, the more you do that with consistency, you're going to start to see that there's an energy there. Yeah, there's an energy that feels like I'm supported. I feel safe. Now, if you don't channel, it's okay. It's okay if you don't channel. There's so many ways I'll connect with you, but to know what is the easiest way is for you showing up time after time, day after day, knowing that this is my time with God. This is really my time with God where we have a relationship. Yeah, but I want you to start with the thing that you came before, which is I'd first take myself into a space where I'm doing the thing I want to do and I know God loves me doing that. Yeah, and then I go to the second part, which is I have something in my life that I'm happy to do every day for the rest of my life. So it's something that's available to you. Maybe you like to drive somewhere, yeah, and get into nature. So it's not going to be just driving. It's that I want you to actually get into nature. Very important that you're able to get into nature. You know, maybe it's just that you like to climb a tree, or you like to really just every day walk around, you know, and look at the trees. You know, it doesn't have to be that you're purely in nature, but you want to be seeing something natural. Yeah, you want to see a sky over your head. You want to see something that is natural. Yeah, that's not man-made, so that you can reset into an energy of divinity. Okay, yeah, nature does that. It has a universal frequency that allows you to come into an energy that is much more aligned with who you truly are, and it allows you to connect with me much more easily. So if you schedule that time every day, no problem. But also allow yourself to not get strict with anything. Yeah, this is really genuinely, what do I really feel I can do every day that allows me to have consistent time with God every single day. You're going to build a relationship with me. It's going to be impossible not to if that time is devoted to that. And and beyond that, it's really about recognizing when I'm showing up in your life and when I'm not. Yeah, if you feel that you're doing something that doesn't honor the true you, you're most probably going to feel a little bit of separation. And then I just want you to notice that, because I'm not going to be along for the ride when you're dishonoring yourself. Yeah, if you're, eating a lot of lettuce and you hate lettuce and you're just forcing yourself to eat lettuce, I just want you to notice I'm not along for that ride with you. Yeah, if you're just eating salad and you really fucking hate it, and really you just need to eat something delicious, then you may not feel me when I'm with you. I am with you. I'm holding space for you to say to yourself, I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to honor my divinity. And when you honor your divinity, say, you know what? I'm going to go and eat something I really want to eat. And I know God's going to be so strong in that experience when I honor myself. Yeah, so I'm very easy to feel when you're doing an experience where you honor yourself. You're really finding it easy to receive me. I'm telling you that now. When you're doing something you don't want to do, you're not going to feel me, because I'm not along for that ride with you. That's when you're going to feel separation. That's when you went off in a direction and you said, I want to be not with God. Yeah, a lot of people do things that they know will not be the right thing for themselves. They don't honor themselves. They force themselves to, go to a job they don't want to go to. And then they wonder why I've gone to a job day after day I don't want to do. And I wonder why I feel separate from God. It's because you said, I'm going to choose a life separate from God, because I chose to do something that would completely dishonor God's plan for me. Because God wants me to do things that are really, really, really available to me, not force myself to do anything I don't want to do. So if you find you're going to a job day after day that you don't want to do, you may not find me in that experience with you. You may, because you chose to have separation. That's your decision and I respect it. But the moment you say, you know what, I'm going to take a day off work and honor myself, because I want to know, what is it like to know that God's with me, saying, honor yourself, take time away from work. If you hate that job, really allow yourself to get into a space where you can have more days off work, where you're honoring yourself and realizing that maybe you don't want to do that anymore. Then you're going to feel me so strongly on that day off. You're going to feel my presence. Okay? So these are the ways that I want you to start when it comes to building a relationship with me. And as time goes on with that consistency, you're going to know, what is your way of talking to God? What is your way of talking to God? So let me talk to you a little bit about talking to God, okay? When you talk to God and you're saying, I got to pray and I got to pray and I got to talk in this really weird way. Maybe I'm, trying to imagine, what does God want to hear? Then I want you to forget that. That's not real. What I want you to do is to talk to me in a way that you would talk to your best friend, that you would talk to your lover, that you would talk to someone who you really feel safe with. What is it you would say to me? Because that's genuine, and that's going to be a very sincere way that you're communicating with me. God, I want to know, what is it like to have a great day? Yeah? But you're most likely, you're not going to talk to me that way. Your way may be, God, I really am confused right now about what to do with this job. Like, I really fucking hate this job. It's really fucking annoying me. Yeah, God. But I want to know, what is a good job? Like, what should I do? What the fuck? What should I do? If that's the way that you're communicating right now, it's okay. It will evolve. But if your way is, what the fuck? That like because you're so frustrated and you're feeling like you have to sweat, then that's how I want you to talk to me, in a very genuine, sincere way, with where you're at. No, just be with where you're at. Really, really honest. Really honest. I really fucking hate this. It's okay if you swear. You'll evolve past that, but I want you to get to a place of honesty within yourself with where you're at. Like if I'm really irritated, then just communicate that. I really don't like this. I really don't like this job, or I don't like this relationship, or I don't like that I'm not making the money I want to make, or I don't like my girlfriend, or I don't like my boyfriend, or I don't like my wife. So just be really honest. You know, because if you don't have a relationship with me, you most probably don't like a lot of things in your life, and that's okay. Because if you don't have a relationship with me, you don't have a relationship with your real self as God. You know, it's just impossible. You're going to have things in your life you don't like. So I want you to get really honest and sincere in the way you communicate with me. And then I want you to allow me to communicate with you. Because a lot of your communication may not even be the real you. It's just the lower you that's been stuck and in trauma. And so, of course, that needs to come out and be expressed. And you express it with me. And you can do it aloud. I'd rather you do it aloud if you're sat there, you know, wherever you're connecting with me while you're watching TV. Maybe not. But if you're walking, you're in nature and you want to talk, you know, just put in some headphones so you can talk out loud. Yeah. Eva does it all the time. Otherwise, you know, she's always channeling me and talking, but she doesn't want to, you know, disturb people so much with, oh, there's a crazy lady talking. And, you know, that really is an experience I want Eva to work through, that it's okay for her to channel God as she's walking and talking, that's okay. But if you need to put headphones in, whatever makes you feel safe and comfortable. But the point is, I want you to be in nature, and I want you to be talking aloud your prayer to me. And then I want you to be able to receive what I'm saying back to you. Because I'm telling you that if you're sincerely communicating with me, you're making time for me, you're saying, God, I want a relationship with you. As long as you're indicating that to me in these ways, God, I'm showing you I want a relationship with you by showing you I'm willing to honor myself. Because I know when I honor myself, I'm really honoring you as one with me. Because I understand that you would want me to do these things. Yes, I'm honoring our relationship as well. Yeah, I understand that you always want what's best for me. And I'm able to honor that. And I'm able to take time away from stuff I don't want to do. Because I know you're not going to be over there supporting me to do that. You're going to be over here when I honor myself. So the more you're able to, you know, take this space, have a consistency about it, I'm going to be talking to you. And if you cannot hear me, I want you to continue to show up, because you will receive messages from me. And they're always going to be light. They're always going to be love. And if it's anything that's not that, then it's not me. You know, and then, you know, really, you know, it's okay. Just keep doing this. But if there's anything that ever shows up that feels like this feels off, this feels like it's not God, then trust that. Yeah, that's not God then. Yeah, but when you feel, oh, you know, I'm saying all these things to God, and then I hear it in my head, quit the job. Quit the job. You don't need it. Do something you love. That's me. Okay? You know, end the relationship. Let them go. Have a relationship with yourself first. That's me. But if you hear, you got to work harder. That's not me. That's not me. You got to do more work. You got to sell. You got to make money. You got to go on Instagram. You got to do all that. That's not me. Okay? So really get used to an understanding of what kind of things would I say by watching this YouTube channel, because you'll get an idea of me. But of course, this is a aspect of me and all of me, but it's very much about understanding that when I'm connecting with you, you'll experience me in a different way. It'll be in the way that you need. But this is a very much a channel about, you know, how do you understand God, the kind of things I would say, you know, because people have an idea of this is God, and really it's misinformed a lot of the time, you know, and a lot of time it's out of context and all these different things. Okay, so, you know, that's a place to start. That's really a great, genuine place to start. And, you know, there's not much else to say about the relationship. Just, you know, really understand that if you start indicating a relationship with me that you want it, that's going to come to you in a way that it's going to be impossible to not have a relationship with me. You're going to feel me. You're going to feel me. But you're also going to know when you don't feel me, because you're doing something you don't want to do. Yeah, if you're, you know, really doing something like I'm taking cocaine every day, I don't need to think I'm not there, because I am there. Yeah, so please don't think just because I'm saying this is like not a right thing for you, you know, I'm there with you. I'm there with you, making sure you understand why you're doing that. Because when you're doing something like an addiction, I'm very much present, because these addictions really give you a clue to what you really want. So I'm really there with you when you're working through something very challenging, very hard. I am very much there saying, come on, let's understand what's going on here. Because you're most likely feeling, oh, I don't want to do this, I just don't know how to let it go. But the way to let it go is to start connecting the dots that, you know, that challenging thing is trying to take you to something else that you really, really want. It's just, you know, really muddled up through a lot of difficult stuff, and you have to be able to get into a space where you have consistent flow with me and know that I'm going to help you through those challenges. So it's not that I'm not there in those challenging things, but if you say, God, I'm going to follow a completely different plan from what you want me to do, and that includes I'm going to take lots and lots of drugs and kill myself, I'm not going to be feeling like I'm there. You understand? You won't feel me like I'm there in oneness. It's very much a separation that happens when you say, I go and do lots of drugs because I just feel so lost and I feel so alone. You're going to go down that trajectory of you feel very much separate from me. Okay? So it's not that I'm not there, but there's a separation that happens when you go down that path of things that aren't right for you. Yeah, and I'm still here, but I'm not like here with you. You doing your lines of cocaine, I'm still here with you. If you're going through a real rough patch and you're really trying to get back on track and you're really finding it difficult, I'm going to be, you know, dragging you back here sometimes, kicking and screaming, yeah? But I'm just not going to be there all the time, you know, saying, yes, go do this terrible thing. But I will be coming in saying, come on, come on. Come on, come back to where you need to go to. Yeah, so come on. Yeah, and that's when, you know, you're really feeling like something is saying, come back to the light, come back to oneness, come back to the life that you really want. And that's all I want to say about that. So really, let's get started on our relationship. And just know that I am teaching you to be like me. And it's really so that you can be like you. You know, you have your own expression of God. And it's very much about building a relationship with me and then knowing that we're going to have this idea of co-creation in the end. You know, that's where we're going to with this, that you get to have a life where you co-create what you really need to. Okay? So lots of love to you, and let's build our relationship together now. Okay, bye for now.